Remember when I started this and I was singing Lizzo? And now here we are discussing how I'll be the jester of your life if you just ever need a break. You just need to get away. Come hang out. I guess that's what this whole podcast is for. I keep having these thoughts in my head of like trying to, I want to say justify this, and I keep forgetting that I need no justification more than that I want to share. And we're all worthy of sharing. And so here I am sharing. Maybe it's a cringy share. Maybe most people don't care that I share. But I couldn't bear not to share or care. I don't think I can come up with any more rhymes, but that was pretty impressive, right? Like I was singing Lizzo and now I'm dropping mad freestyle poetry on you. Okay, anyways, I'll wrap it up. Baby's probably going to wake up from her nap anyway. Be gentle with yourself going forward, folks. Be gentle with yourself. Be gentle with your loved ones. Remember that we're closing this door. We're stepping into this new journey. Not because we failed or anything like that, because we had a beautiful foundation built, and now it is time to step forward into this new level of abundance, whatever that may mean, however that may look, and we are just going to trust. We are stepping forward in trust, and we are stepping forward in patience. Praise be. Hallelujah. Bye, motherfucker. You will miss me. I'll be back in who knows? Bye. Hi, motherfucker, did you miss me? I've been home since 2020. Little Lizzo shout out there. Hey, hi, how you doing? Welcome to Humor Me. Today we're just gonna do a little tarot for the soul because I don't have a why. The world just feels like shit lately. Now, I mostly feel okay myself, which I think is what makes it so hard. Is that there's that balance of guilt and understanding of the world and its problems and being in a place where I am safe and stable, albeit for like one of the first times in my adulthood. I'm not grasping it well. It's kind of like the whole idea of why I don't understand religion. Like Christianity is right or whatever because I grew up where we have the Bible, so then that means I'm not going to be raptured or I'll be saved, but then people who were born on the other side of the world simply because like geographically they don't have access to those teachings are just damned. Like it doesn't make sense to me. Alan Watts, I think, was the first one who really shattered for me the structure of especially like Western religion. Him just talking about, you know, how essentially it's the monarchy and how humans have set up their societal structure with, you know, God, and then he has his subservient, you know, the next level down, whether that be like in Christianity where there's Jesus, or, you know, Islam, there's not. It just goes from him to like the prophets, and then the people, you know, whatever, has that like hierarchy, which is such a human thing. Even though I used to think it wasn't, I kind of think that maybe the idea of the food chain is a bit of a lie. I don't know that lie is the right word, but exaggeration. It's not as right as we thought it was. I think there's often exceptions to it. And so, yeah, that's just something I've been thinking on. So yeah, life's been weird. And clearly there's been a lot on my mind. And I've been feeling, I don't want to say less called to writing because I've been journaling a lot, but more called to speaking and sharing my voice and finding it more and standing with it more. And maybe that's because yesterday was a year since I shaved my head, which I wrote about it, but I haven't spoken about what a profound experience that was. I remember being very young and crying and asking my mom if we could just shave my head because I hated brushing it. I hated dealing with it. I hated it was so annoying. It was so much. And I just remember thinking, like, it's such a waste of time. Turns out it was. I was right. But that being said, it was such a healing thing for me to shave it, to finally do that thing that my inner child had always wanted. I finally answered that call and shaved it, and it really, really just woke me up to a lot within myself and reminded me who I am and my power. And then that then aligned with a fallout in a friendship that really shook me because I decided to lean into that and who I was in that power instead of being the enabler that I am and the people pleaser and doing what I had done in that relationship was to bend myself and be, I almost said be fragile, be flexible. And I'm just being less flexible. I've learned to, I guess I don't want to say that. I'm being less flexible in myself. Shaving my head taught me to be who I am, exactly that, because like it was like I in my head, in my mind, that experience was like reducing myself down to simply a being. Like I stopped thinking about, I had this conversation with my husband and his brother at the time. Like I reduced myself to like simply a human. There was no more gender of me. I no longer wanted to speak about being anything other than just a being. And I went through this, I was able to go through this process because the people around me allowed me to kind of disconnect a bit, and they kept me surrounded and loved while I did so that I could have this experience as simply a human for a little bit and remember what it was like to connect with the world in that raw way, which I think a lot of us don't have that opportunity because of the world and the way it's set up and how our lives have to run to survive. But it was such a blessing that I got to do it for a few weeks and live just primitively as far as emotions go. And in some ways I was extremely immature, and like I spoke about the fallout with a friend. It was because I was very reactive to what I felt. I was very defensive. I had a defensive reaction to something. I was triggered, and that's something that wasn't very characteristic of me because I have forever been someone who has held my tongue and swallowed it and just not let myself speak out. So then when I do, I often find that it has this explosive part to it sometimes. So I'm working on that. But then I'm remembering that I'm allowed to do that. I'm allowed to be explosive sometimes because I'm human and we all have those reactions. You know, I was wondering though, because some of us have those reactions, but we never end up hurting other people, like to the extremes. Because sometimes I'm like, maybe we could evolve past all this violence that we exist within. Maybe we could just move through it. But every time I do that, I'm like reminded of the truth that the possible truth that at our core we are inherently, these, we're animals. We don't know how to control those emotions and stuff. And it's like, which one is it? Is that at our core that we're emotional and cannot control them, or is it at our core that we exist to feel the emotions and not lose it? I wish someone would tell me the answer so that I'd know if I could freak the fuck out or needed to just chill. It's kind of like I wish someone would tell us if are we going to turn it all around? are we all on the same side, and like, are we coming together? Because sometimes I feel like we so are, and then the world just feels so alien and foreign that I worry that I'll never understand it again. Like when Katy Perry went to space. That's still such a bizarre thought process. So yeah, I've just been trying to figure out what we are at our core. Or is that the whole thing? Is that there's different beings here? Some of us who desire control, and some of us who will never be able to control and simply feel. And how do we allow space for all of us? Because that's really the biggest thing, is that like we just all need to have the ability to exist. And if you're not harming others or yourself, why isn't it okay that you exist? Because I think it is. I think I do. All right, let's look at what we got. Oof. Okay. 6 of Cups. I love this deck. We're going on a journey. We're on our way out. And we need to just trust all that's been in our past, our growth, our intuition, the journey that we've had so far, and where we are exactly in this moment. And aside from that, trust the guidance from our ancestors and trust the guidance from all of those who came before us. That's what's coming to me with that. Ooh. Three of Wands reversed. It's not about being alone. I am so strong. We are so strong on our own. We are. But at the end of the day, they're strongest in numbers. And the way that we're strongest as numbers is when we're strongest in ourselves. Now, that doesn't mean we're the strongest at handling everything, or we are the strongest at solving every problem. It means we're the strongest in ourselves, and we are the most authentic and honest to who we are. And we go with love. We act with love, and our intention is love and only love. So when we do that, and then we can, she's got these kind of chains on her. But it's not really chains. It's more of a shield in front. And she's ready for her community because she's full. She knows who she is, what she is, and she's led this life. We've led this life. We've led it, and now it's time to trust it in ourselves and step into community. And it was reversed, so that's. But I just wanted to show you the picture real good. Whew. Oh my God. 10 of Pentacles again. I don't know if you noticed, but our 6 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles both depict an exit, a walking away, because you're just looking at the back of the person. So again, we're entering a journey, a new phase, and it makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. And honestly, this gives me a lot of hope that we keep receiving cards that depict entering a new journey and stepping out, leaving behind what is no longer a part of us. I think that, so I'm in my Saturn return right now because I'm 30. And this really just reminds me of that, especially because I don't know if you can see, but there's a key that she's walking towards too. So I truly feel that I've done nothing but step more and more into alignment with myself and my purpose and the key to what is being me, which is being a caring and kind individual, and sharing that, whether it be this or my writing or my conversations that I have and being open to conversations and such. But this Ten of Pentacles is definitely telling us, again, we're stepping into a new journey, and this is just more of a affirmation to trust where we came from, trust where we're going, trust that it's okay to leave this, and that there's more abundance ahead. Sometimes I think we get stuck, we allow ourselves to get stuck because we feel like things will never get better than what we have right now. There is better. It continues to get better. There is no like final best. You have to keep striving. We have to keep striving, keep moving forward. I keep telling myself that as long as I'm moving forward. So this card really, again, brings that home. And then this also, this also was reversed and could not be more perfect. Universe, you silly little bitch. The Fool. This is my favorite card of all of the deck because it is me. I am the Fool. Humor me. Don't take me too seriously. And whenever it's reversed, it's me reminding myself not to take myself too seriously, which I've been doing a lot lately. I've been very on myself, and I needed this reminder to just have fun. Just have fun. Do what's fun. If I do what's fun, it'll be right. I was just talking to my friend about, I was laying in bed and I was meditating and I was going to nap instead of recording this. And my friend texted me that she had taken a nap with her daughter. And I was like, my Phoebe is down right now and I am laying in bed and I'm just thinking about how guilty I feel about that I'm laying in bed. And then I started meditating, and my plan after meditation was to just allow myself to go into a nap. But the meditation I did was like for energy and realignment, and so it kind of did power me back up, and here I am. And this tarot read makes me feel so correct in having done this, especially because, yeah, the Fool. Bitch, I need sleep sometimes. I need to rest. I need to rest. We all need to rest. And I think the most important part about needing to rest is knowing that you can rest and not feel guilty. I'm saying that to me because I've been resting and feeling very guilty. Like I kind of said at the beginning of this, though, like I feel like I've been feeling guilty for most things lately. I don't know if that sounds stupid to say, but there's some truth in it. That like guilt has been a weird thing lately. But I'm moving past it. I think that a lot has to do with the trauma from my friendship breakup. And I realize that again from these conversations I'm having with new friends, how inauthentic I was in that relationship and how much I did not stand for myself and stand for my true beliefs. And I allowed myself to, I made myself flex. No, I'm not going to say I made myself. I allowed myself to do that natural impulse of like being flexible for a person and all their needs to make sure that they are happy, healthy, and have everything met. And I've just been learning like through these new relationships as I've been setting boundaries as I go, like I'm working on, and like my therapist is teaching me. I just have found that like, well, that's not how friendship is. And like, you're allowed to do things when you're friends with people and make mistakes and say stuff. And you don't have to all like the same things. And you don't have to all do the same things. And you can not be available at times. And you can just be honest. And it's something I've struggled with in a lot of relationships, is being honest. And I think that's because I was one of those people who was raised thinking that like a friend has to be a best friend. And a best friend has to be like family. And that means that you're all so, like, connected. And the thing is, like, it is like that, but it's different because family's not quite like that. Like, obviously, we love our family. But relationships are just so much different than we thought they were. I thought they were, how I was raised thinking they were. I never really... My family has always been rather distant. Like I have like a close pocket, but not everyone in the family is in the family. And And so something I've always resonated with much more is the idea of a soul family. And I have a very expansive soul family. And sometimes I sit back and will just like pull up my mental yearbook of my soul family tree. And it like is one of the most soothing, emotion inducing things to know like I have the security and this love around me simply because all of these people have embraced me at my most authentic. And then they also find that so enriching that they have allowed us to have this connection where we give and take without expectations or conditions. I'm just really grateful that I have these connections and that I'm able to have them. And it's how I know that I'm not a bad friend or anything. I'm not a bad person. I'm just a person who I'm not everyone's flavor. I'm a fool. Humor me. I'm the fool. If you need a little more fool in your life, like that's why we're hanging out. You just want to laugh a bit and like also fucking feel. Laugh and feel, baby.